Hi everyone, let's take a look at the steps to create this beautiful alternating square knot pattern. This is just a demonstration video of the alternating square knot pattern. So the measurements that are listed on the screen are for my demo, but measurements for your project are going to depend on the measurements your project calls for. Starting with these 8 cords, we attach them evenly to this rod with a lark's head knot. You'll see it repeated a few times here. Once you've attached all 8 cords, it should look like this, and you'll have 16 cords hanging below to work with. And now you're going to create 4 square knots using these cords, these 16 cords that are hanging, and you'll start with the first 4 hanging cords. The 2 center cords will be the center of the square knot, and the 2 outer cords will be the ones used to create the square knot. Here's the first row of 4 square knots completed. For row 2, you'll again make a row of square knots beginning with cords 3, 4, 5, and 6. And once again, that's the 3rd and 4th cord of the first square knot above and the 1st and 2nd cord of the 2nd square knot above. Then carry on with making the next square knot with the next 4 cords available. So now, as you can see, the first row had 4 square knots. The second row only had enough space for 3 square knots. For row 3, we'll start with those first 4 cords that are hanging. And be sure you're starting the square knots of row 3 only on row 3. There should be this little gap that you see me pointing out here. There's the first square knot. And now using the very next 4 cords that are hanging, you're going to make the second square knot. And you'll just keep going down row 3. You should be able to make 4 square knots in this row. The last square knot is going to be a lot like the first square knot, where you have to leave a bit of a gap, and you're going to see me point that out in just a minute here. Here you have 3 rows complete. And once again, you're going to, on row 4, is going to be very similar to row 2, where you're going to start with the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th cord that's hanging. Again, there's going to be only enough space to do 3 square knots. On row 5, you will once again start with the very first 4 cords. And in this row, don't forget to leave that little bit of a gap that you see me pointing out right now. So there you have the first square knot, and you'll just keep going down this row. This is row 5, and you should be able to fit 4 square knots. So here's that final square knot, and don't forget to leave that little bit of a gap that I am going to point out in a moment. So there's our completed alternating square knot sample.